Hey, what's up? Skillshot4 here. Today I'm going to be talking about my top 5 beginner tips for improving at Rainbow Six Siege. So these are my personal top 5 tips that I give to new and beginning players to improve at the game. These aren't specific tips that beginners should know and know about. Instead, these are general tips on how to improve as a beginner. Alright, so the first tip I want to talk about is to use your drone and cameras more. This is super important in Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege is all about gathering information and exploiting that information to get easy kills. And using your drones and cameras are a great way of doing this. A lot of new players and even more experienced players don't use their drones enough. Your drone is your single most valuable asset on attacking side, and I would say it's your only dependable teammate. So during the preparation phase, you're going to want to save your drone and set it up somewhere that you're going to be entering on the map. That way you can drone it out. And as you go through the map, always send your drone in first, if you have one, to clear rooms. If you don't use your drone to clear rooms and scout it out first, you're going to be going in blind and you can be killed by so many angles because there's so many spots defenders can be holding that are unexpected and all these little cheeky spots they can hold. So the more you use your drone, the less often you're going to die from defenders holding angles. It's just a great way to ensure that you're going to be safe when you're entering a building and you're not going to be picked off early in the round. It also gives you a lot of information that you can relay to your teammates, which can allow your team to get more kills. Now on defense, you're going to want to use the cams in the same sort of way that you use your drone on attack. You're going to want to use them to get intel and find out the position of the attackers. Even if the cameras get shot out, if you can remember where they were, especially for the default cameras, you can figure out where the attackers are pushing from and where they're clearing. Attackers are going to be a lot less successful on pulling off a flank or attacking from multiple angles if you get on the cameras and figure out where they're coming from. So just in your games, use your drones a lot more and use your cameras a lot more. It's really going to improve your gameplay and your win rate because that extra intel is just going to mean the world. If you guys want to learn more about droning and droning effectively, I will put the link in my description to one of my videos, and I will also put a link up in the top right hand corner. Alright, so the second tip I have for new players and beginner players is to play a lot of T-Hunt. This is so useful. A big part of Rainbow Six Siege, in fact I would say the main part of Rainbow Six Siege, is the map knowledge. And when you're a new player and you first start playing the game, you're not going to have any map knowledge. You're not going to know where anything is, and you're not going to know where to go or what to do. You don't know how the rooms are connected or what's in each room. So if you play T-Hunt, it provides a safe environment to explore the map and learn the layout and what's connected to what, and really figure out how to play on those particular maps. Classic T-Hunt is a great way to learn how to clear rooms and practice moving through rooms on attack, and Protect the Hostage is a great way to learn how to defend certain spots on the map. It's really going to increase your game knowledge and your map knowledge, which is going to help you out so much in game. The second reason you're going to want to play T-Hunt is to train your aim. Now, if this is especially important if you don't come from any other FPS or competitive FPS. A lot of people may not have that experience or that muscle memory, and so going through a T-Hunt is a great way to safely train your aim. I would set it at normal. That way you can take a lot more damage without dying. It's a lot more forgiving and it allows you to learn from your mistakes more. Aiming is such an integral part of Rainbow Six Siege, and so practicing it will always improve your gameplay and how well you perform. There are a lot of different guns in Siege, all with different recoil mechanics, and as a new player it can seem really overwhelming. So going to T-Hunt and experimenting with the different guns will allow you to be comfortable with them and perform better. Alright, so the third tip I have for you guys for improving at the game, if you're a beginner, is to pick team-based operators. When you first start playing Rainbow Six Siege, there's a lot of things you have to learn. Trying to learn how a specific operator works and mastering that operator can be a daunting task when you don't have the basic mechanics of the game down. So if you pick team-based operators, it allows you to get better at the base mechanics of the game, such as movement and aiming, without having to worry about trying to figure out how to use each ability. Now certainly as you continue to play, you're going to want to pick different operators and learn how to use different operators. But at the beginning of the game, I believe is a really good idea to pick team-based operators that are simple and easy to pick up and use, because you're not going to pick an operator that requires a lot of skill that you don't know what to do with, such as Thermite. If you just hop into a game and you don't know how to play Thermite, you could lose the entire round. But if you hop into a game and you've never played before and you pick Sledge, no harm done. He has a really simple ability that's easy to use. So I'm going to kind of tell you guys what I think the best team-based operators are to pick when you're just starting out in the game. The first operator would be Rook. Rook is such a great operator and he's so important and always useful. The second operator I would say that is good for beginners is Jaeger, because Jaeger allows you to be free in your playstyle and kind of figure things out. And if you, as long as you put your gadget down, your ADS down, you're going to be helping out your team. You don't have to do anything special, and he's a great operator to learn the mechanics of the game with. For the attacking side, I would recommend playing as either Sledge or IQ. Sledge is a great operator that's really useful, especially in the team, but he's not going to be an operator that people are going to be mad at you for picking if you don't play him well. IQ is also a great choice because she can spot any electronic devices such as Valkyrie cams, which is super useful and valuable, and it can really help out your team. And again, no one's going to be mad if you're not, a perfect IQ. So those are both really great operators on attack to learn how to play the game with. All right, so the third tip that I have for you guys is to communicate. This is a big part of Rainbow Six Siege, and it's something that a lot of players don't do enough of, and especially beginner players. So if you're a beginner, you're probably, a little bit worried of speaking in game and giving you information. You don't really know what's going on, you don't know what's happening, and I get that, I understand that. But if you try to communicate and you try to be helpful, most of the time your team is really going to appreciate it. So, for instance, when you die, look around in the kill cam where you died from and what's around, and try kind of just describe it and tell your teammates where you died, and that's really going to help out. Or if someone asks you to do something, you can just say, sure, I'd be happy to do that. It's going to improve the team spirits a lot more, and it's going to help you play better. Trust me. Make sure that when you're droning out or you're on cams, and if you spot an enemy, make sure you call it out and tell your teammates where they are. That way they can capitalize off of it. So if you communicate and you're friendly and you're constantly giving information, not just talking, but giving actually useful information, it's really going to help you out. It's going to help your team out. Your entire team is going to play better. Everyone's going to enjoy playing with each other much more. It's just a great way to improve at Rainbow Six Siege. And a lot of times, if you're nice and you communicate well, people send you a friend request and you can team up with them. Or a lot of times, people will teach you something because if they know if you're a new player and if you're communicating, that means you're probably wanting to improve. And a lot of people are always happy to teach you a lot of things about Rainbow Six Siege. So the more you communicate, the better your games are going to go and the more fun you're going to have. Alright, so the last tip I have for you guys is to utilize sound more. Sound is super valuable and important in Rainbow Six Siege, and it allows you to get a lot of information and sometimes get even a lot of really cheeky kills. So almost everything in Siege makes some sort of sound. You make sound when you walk, you make sound when you run, you make sound when you crouch walk, you make sound when you get on cameras, you make sound when you're shooting, you make sound when you throw a nitro. There's so many things and so many actions in Rainbow Six Siege that make sound. If you can learn to recognize what each sound means and where it's coming from, you're going to play a lot better. Now, before I talk a little bit more about sound, I want you to go into your options, go into your sound, and turn it on night mode. What this does is this makes the softer sounds a little bit louder and the louder sounds a little bit quieter. So it's going to make it easier for you to hear footsteps and people getting on the cameras and such, which is really important. Now, I also have to tell you how sound works in Rainbow Six Siege because it's a little bit different from other games. So in other games, when you hear sound, it's coming from whichever direction you're hearing it. So if you hear in your right headset, it's probably going to be coming from the right. Well, not so much in Siege. The way Siege works is that sounds travel through the closest entrance. So if there's someone in another room and they're making a noise, you're not going to hear it exactly where they are. Instead, you're going to hear it from the closest door or hole. A lot of new players don't know how sound works, and so they get super frustrated because they hear someone in a certain spot and it turns out they're not there. Just always remember that sound travels through the closest hole. It can be confusing sometimes and it sounds a little messed up, but that's how it works. So now that I talked about how sound works, let me kind of tell you how to utilize sound and take advantage of it. Let's say that you're holding an angle on the stairs, right? And farther down the stairs, you hear someone get on their camera for their drone. Well, that means that they're currently on the camera and they can't do anything. So if you move down the stairs and you push them, there's a good chance that you're going to be able to kill them and they're not even going to know that you're there. Or if you're holding in a bomb site and you hear someone moving behind you, you know which direction they're coming from and you can position yourself in such a way to get a kill. Learning how sound works and how to take advantage of the sound cues that you get is a great way to improve at Rainbow Six Siege. It's really going to help out your gameplay. So that's pretty much all for this video. If you liked it, leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.